to liar. All Systems Go starts right now.
Hello, welcome to All Systems Go, the only show that's in live action.
No adaptation necessary. I'm Jenica Joestar.
And I'm Nick Naranchi. Let's get right into it.
Holy character crossovers, Batman! A new crossover fighting game is coming out, and we just got a lot of updates. Multiverses comes from Player First Games and Warner Bros., combining several different characters from different IPs with matching stages. A new trailer revealed only 3 stages, but we got a glimpse of the Batcave, the Island of Themyscira, and the Treehouse from Adventure Time. Multiverses will release in 2022 for PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X and S as a free-to-play title. We cannot wait to go on this time adventure.
From the creators of Danganronpa comes a new game, Enigma Archive's Raincode. The trailer for the game came out this week and is referred to as a dark fantasy mystery. Besides that, not much is actually known about the gameplay, but Danganronpa writer Kodaka returns for the project, along with lead designer and composers. Enigma Archive's Raincode has no set release date, so don't expect it anytime soon.
BioShock fans, prepare to be BioShook, because the next game is confirmed to be in development. There have been plenty of leaks making the rounds about some possible details. One of the most interesting things we've heard is that this 4th installment may feature not 1, but 2 cities. There's also a strong possibility that this game may be titled BioShock Isolation. Of course, at this point, all we have are rumors, as the website teasing BioShock content just has the words, "Stay tuned," and offers no further content. All I can say is our excitement levels for this new game are infinite.
A new trailer for Pixar's latest feature film, Turning Red, is here, and it's high quality, let me say. The movie follows May, a 13-year-old girl who is trying to get her bearings as she struggles to understand the complexities of growing up. However, May doesn't realize that in her family this means turning into a giant red panda, a were-panda, if you will. May must learn to control her emotions to get a grasp on her new life as it begins to fill with pandemonium. Turning Red premieres March 11th, 2022.
Can Jurassic Park get any bigger? You bet Jurassic can. The Jurassic Park universe continues to expand, and this time, it's over 65 million years. The Universal Picture released a 5-minute prequel to the upcoming movie, Jurassic World Domination. The prologue was previously featured before screenings of F9 in IMAX theaters, but is now available online. The video starts circa 65 million years ago and features several new dinosaurs, along with a fight between 2 apex predators. The narrative then switches to present times, where we see several scenes of dinosaurs causing mayhem all around the world. The prologue will not be in Dominion and stands on its own. Jurassic World Dominion comes out June 10th, 2022.
Electro Monday has come and gone, and it was truly amazing. Tickets for No Way Home are now available for pre-order, the press tour finally started, and Tom Holland is officially in the MCU for another Spider-Man trilogy. This comes from a rep from Sony. It was announced in the news, so we know Holland is sticking around for sure. And speaking of sticking around, singer-turned-actor Harry Styles is also staying in the MCU as Thanos' brother Star Fox. Not that one. For another 5 movies. Good for him, let me say.
After the break, we have opinions and reviews to spare.
All Systems Go. We'll be right back.
Sophia decided to take time to rank one of the most popular and life-changing games of all time, Jackbox. Let's see if she's right or not.
If there is one thing we have established throughout this season, it's that I'm not a gamer. I do not play video games, I have no knowledge of any video games, and my only experience is when my fellow cast members talk about it. However, one area of gaming expertise I do hold is in party games, specifically Jackbox games. What are Jackbox games, you ask? Well, if you couldn't catch it, they are digital party games that you can connect to through your mobile device. There are a wide variety of games to choose from across all the packs that are offered, from fast-paced games like Quiplash to drawing-based games like TKO to messaging games like Monster Seeking Monster. While it would take forever to rank each individual game, I will take the time to rank each pack of games based on the cohesiveness between each game, how many games are worth playing in each pack, and overall group involvement. With that being said, let's get into the bottom pack. In 8th place, we unfortunately have the very first Jackbox Party Pack. While this was the pack that started it all, the games that were created just get left in the dust. The games are just a selection of the first few trial runs of ideas. Involvement of a group can greatly vary depending on each game, and I personally only see 2 out of the 5 games worth playing. Luckily, it can only go up from your first work, because in 7th place we have Party Pack 2. This pack is definitely a great improvement, but each game is still in its early stages, so the future installments just trump these. Group involvement is a little more consistent, which is great. Each game is unique but flows well with the next one, and 4 out of the 5 games look fun to me, aside from the sound effect one. This one seems really weird. In the number 6 spot we have Party Pack 5. This pack has one solid game, Patently Stupid. Every other game is either vague or boring from the initial description, but group involvement is much better. This pack overall is just mediocre to me. Coming in 5th place is Party Pack 6. Trivia Murder Party 2 largely saves this one, along with Push the Button because it was a lovely little predecessor to the Among Us craze of 2020. Group involvement is better, but outside of that, this pack was simply subpar. The first pack in our top half is Party Pack 4. This pack has solid group involvement, with the smallest cutoff being Monster Seeking Monster at 7 and the largest being Bracketeering at 16. 3 out of the 5 games are very appealing to me, and each game is unique and fun. You will not be disappointed with this one. Receiving the bronze is Party Pack 8. Ranking this any lower would kill our producer Ian, and ranking this any higher would kill me. Each game is beautifully designed and so well done. The only downside is each game has great potential for dragging. Games that drag on for too long are not my personal favorites, so I can't fully get behind this one. Sorry, Ian. Our runner-up is Party Pack 7. This pack has the combined visual expertise of Party Pack 8 and the genius of creating all-star games as a result of 6 previous versions of the Jackbox Party Pack. Group involvement is wonderful, with almost every game having a cutoff at 8 people, and this game has the best version of a previous game, Quiplash, as well as new hits like Champed Up and Talking Points. This pack is phenomenal. And now, the best Jackbox Party Pack is Party Pack 3. This pack has everything you could want. All-stars like Trivia Murder Party and Quiplash, unique games for that time period like TKO, and a game so infuriating yet so fun like Fakin' It. Jackbox Party Pack 3 has a beautiful combination of games, wonderful standards of group involvement, and I can attest that every single game is lots of fun. With that, I will issue my friendly reminder that my opinion is correct, regardless of what anyone else says, and I hope my opinions help steer you in the right direction as to which pack should start your Jackbox collection.
Liam and I saw Eternals last week, and oh boy, do we have some opinions. Let's take a look.
Marvel Studios' newest installment of The Eternals is out in theaters, and it's the worst rated MCU film on Rotten Tomatoes. But as we said in the last episode, we try to take reviews with a grain of salt and form our own opinions, and oh boy, do me and Liam have opinions.
I went into this movie with a real open mind, and I was trying to enjoy it, and it definitely had the potential to be good, but eventually it ruined itself towards the end. And with a runtime of 2.5 hours, I think the movie had plenty of time to develop all of its characters, because I mean, look at Guardians of the Galaxy. They developed their characters with less time, and they did it with flying colors.
So if you don't know what the Eternals are, they're like humanity's ancient silent protectors who fight against the deviants that threaten humanity, aka the villains from Transformers Age of Extinction. Now, the Eternals themselves are a team of superpowered individuals, including one who can fly and shoot lasers, one has super speed, another has like a sword and a shield, and okay, awkward. This is Justice League footage, my bad. Those are the Eternals.
The way some of the problems also that were dealt with in the movie, it was just like very lackluster. Certain antagonists should have been like more fleshed out, and they had the potential to be a very interesting character, and they were just shrugged off like a grain of salt.
Director Chloe Zhao was actually given a lot of creative leeway for this film, which is not very common for a Marvel movie, and it totally shows in the visuals. Marvel's films have been criticized for feeling very samey or hollow, so I'll give them props for letting Chloe Zhao really take the reins on this one. Personally, my biggest issue with the movie is probably the pacing. For how long the movie is, not a ton of things actually happen, and you could argue it was for character development, but I didn't think they did a good job there either. I only really liked 3 out of like the 15 characters, and they each have only about 20 minutes of screen time. The rest are boring at best, and dislikable at worst. The fact that they messed this up kind of blows my mind, to be honest, because Marvel movies are practically built on a very charismatic cast. Now, I'm not saying a character has to be funny for me just to like them, but they need to at least be relatable or interesting, and Eternals screws that up for the majority of the characters. The movie definitely has some standout visuals you wouldn't get in other MCU stuff, thanks to Chloe Zhao. There were a couple moments in the theater that had me thinking like, wow, that's a really cool shot, which like never happens with Marvel movies. As for the CGI, people always have their gripes, but it never took me out of the movie personally.
Yeah, I agree with you on like the really good shots, but the Eternals outfits quite literally looked like they went to their nearest spirit Halloween to cosplay as the Power Rangers from the 2015 movie. And I thought the Deviants were really cool, and I thought the CGI was kind of fine. And the Deviants also introduced a really cool character, but like none of it really mattered in the end, and it really bummed me out.
Yeah, it had no bearing on the actual plot, which, by the way, the plot was very straightforward. It was very, kind of simple. There was a certain twist near the end that I actually kind of liked in the third act that I won't spoil, but overall, I'd have to give the movie like a 5 out of 10. It's not very good, but it isn't bad, if that makes sense. It's not bad, but it is not a good movie.
I'm personally going to rate this a 4 out of 10. I'm not a fan of the Eternals personally, aka the off-brand Justice League. I mean, Angelina Jolie is literally Wonder Woman, Athena, or is it just Athena, or is it
It's Athena. They even make a point in the movie.
That's what I thought. I thought it was just Athena. And they made a Superman joke, and it was just really unpleasant to hear for my
They make
ears.
so many Superman jokes.
And I'm actually going to bump it down for 3 out of 10 because they tried to pull in just fans with Harry Styles. Spoiler alert. Oh no.
Up next, we'll join Liam to discuss the ever-controversial topic of adaptations. All systems go. We'll be right back.
Welcome to this week's discussion panel where we're talking about live action adaptations. Do they work? Do they not work? Let's find out. So let's go ahead and start with anime live adaptations. It's a real hard time saying that word right now. So yeah, I know. Do you guys have any opinions on anime live action adaptations?
Let's see. For me specifically, anime movies, from my experience, not so good. I think like the only like good one that has come out in like the last like few years of anime movies specifically was Bleach. I heard Bleach was pretty good. But one thing I have to give anime movies is back in the day before I started really filling with more anime as I do now, I really wasn't into that much. But I watched the live action Netflix Death Note movie, and I was like, I watched it. I was like, oh, this is pretty good, pretty decent. I'm curious about the anime. And somebody told me, it's like, oh, bro, the anime's so much better than the movie. I was like, okay, I'll give it a try. I watched the anime. I'm like, bro, the movie
Sucks.
Garbage!
Right? Yeah, it's garbage. The movie is trash. I hate that movie. The only good thing about that movie is Willem Dafoe being Ryuk. It's the only good thing about that movie. That's it.
Oh my god.
On the topic of Death Note, I've not seen the Death Note movie. I've not even really seen the anime too much. I started the manga. The vibes were they weren't great for the day that I was trying to watch it. But then I heard the Death Note musical. Guys.
The what?
The Death Note musical.
Oh, dear
it's
Lord.
so good. It's amazing. The songs, wonderful. Jeremy Jordan plays Light in the English version of it, which, wonderful, beautiful, perfect. That made me want to watch Death Note so badly. Haven't found time to do it, but I will be watching it because this musical is so good.
Why do we gotta make musical versions of everything? That's my only question. And like,
I think musicals
We about to have a fight?
listen, I'm not saying specifically like against the Death Note musical or anything. I have not listened to it. I haven't heard of it.
I'm skeptic to the Death Note musical. I'll say that.
I just feel like
The music is so good.
there's been okay.
So good.
All right. Other than Cowboy Bebop, I came here specifically to talk about Disney live-action adaptations
Good point too. There's been a lot of those being made.
because that's pretty much all they've been doing for the past few years. It's annoying. They're barely coming up with any original plot lines. Pixar is doing all of the work. I'm not too thrilled about it. Quite frankly, I haven't gone to the theaters to watch a Disney movie in years because I already know what's going on. I want to watch something new.
I completely agree about that.
Thank you.
The live-action Disney adaptations, no thank you.
Yeah.
But guys,
What
the
they-
lions
what
look
the-
more realistic.
I
What they
don't
did
care.
to be prepared.
Beyonce's
that was one
The
of the best songs
Lion.
in the
I
whole
don't
musical.
care.
The lions
The
look
lion.
more realistic.
You know,
No,
I don't
I
want
don't
realistic
care.
lions.
I know.
I'm not
want
gonna lie. I
cartoon.
like the Aladdin live adaptation. I thought Aladdin.
No.
I kind of liked the Aladdin
Will
like
Smith
live
as the
adaptation.
genie?
Will,
Kinda.
I do like Will Smith.
Will Smith
but
is
he's-
great.
Will Smith.
He's
We don't need live action Aladdin. We have Aladdin already. Make something new, Disney.
Yeah, see, like
I
Will
thought
Smith
it
was
worked.
good. I hear what you're saying about Will Smith was good, but like
No, he wasn't.
Robin Williams
He
is better.
cannot
Exactly.
compare to
He'll-
Robin Williams.
no one can compare to Robin Williams.
I mean,
Thank
you're
you,
right.
thank
You're
you.
totally right about that.
Like, you gotta think about it this way. In the last few years, they've made a live action Cinderella, Beauty and the Beast, Mulan, Lion King, Aladdin. The list goes on. Put out something original so that Pixar isn't taking all of your money. Because quite frankly, I'm not gonna go into Disney Plus to watch a live action version of Mulan that doesn't have Mushu.
Exactly.
Dude, no, I forgot
There
they
was
did that in the
no
live action. They
Mushu.
didn't even
They
have
made it
They had
so
Mushu.
much
barely any
different.
music. I was
They
so
got rid of
upset.
the best
Changed
character.
it.
Yeah, they said
They
no
changed
music to
entire-
that. They tried to make it like way more serious.
They made it very
Bad
historically
move,
accurate,
Disney.
which is, you know, that's great if you're gonna make a movie about the original fable, but
Don't.
you're setting people up with high expectations with some of the greatest Disney songs of all time.
They didn't sing "Be a Man."
People are
that's like
coming
the
in
best
Make a
scene.
man out of
expecting
man.
to be as swift as a coursing river with all the
The
force of a great typhoon and all the strength of a raging fire, and it's
Mysterious
not
as
what they are not.
The dark side of the moon.
It's and then they don't get that. It's
Okay.
completely different.
Moving on from the Disneys then, because I think we agreed on that. Disney's live
everyone
actions are kind of
agrees.
getting old. They need some new stuff. What about video game live action adaptations? How do you guys feel about that?
Well, we saw. I don't have anything to add. They made a live-action Jackbox adaptation. I'd be real interested in how that works.
How would that work?
Yeah, exactly.
Very
A
curious
musical.
about that, actually.
I'm thinking a musical.
Oh, it could be a game show.
I think
It could be a game show.
Yes.
it could work.
Yes.
Listen,
We've
each
found
different
the
game
formula.
is a different genre of music. I think we could make this.
Mario musical, Legend of Zelda musical, Metroid musical. Anything you make a musical,
I mean,
it'll be good.
look
Like
up
I'm
FNAF
only
the musical on
No,
YouTube. It's pretty good.
no,
I'm only
let's
half
not go
joking
that
about
route.
this.
Let's
musical?
not go
There's
that route.
wait. There's a FNAF musical.
It's
Five Nights
not.
at
It's
Freddy's
not
musical.
like. It's not like a big like high production. It's like not on stage or anything. It's got Markiplier. It's got Nate Wants to Battle.
That's
It's got
Markiplier?
Nat Pat. It's really just fun and silly and it's nice and the music is good. Watch it.
I thought
All right,
Detective
well,
Pikachu was
I'm
good.
afraid that's all the time we have for this week's discussion panel, everyone. But don't go anywhere because Nikki and Jenica have put together a JoJo Bizarre Adventures video for us to get us hype for part 6.
Oh my god! Jenica and Nikki have the biggest conversation about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Do we dare approach them? Let's take a look.
Jenica,
And I'm Nikki.
and today we're talking about JoJo's Bizarre Adventures. And we're doing this on a very special day. Nikki, do you know what day it is?
Today is the premiere of Stone Ocean of the anime format.
Heck yeah! As of today, Stone Ocean has premiered, and we are currently watching it. I'm probably watching it at the desk right now.
I'm watching it
Please
right
do
now.
not tell our producer Ian.
Don't tell our producer.
Please do not.
We're watching
not tell our
JoJo
producer.
right now in the middle of the show. Don't tell Ian.
But before we get to season 6, we have to start at the beginning. Season 1, where this whole adventure starts off.
Part 1, Phantom Blood. The protagonist of this story is Jonathan Joestar, our favorite lad.
Honestly, my emotional support hetero.
He gets an evil stepbrother named Dio who kind of sucks, really. He kisses his girlfriend, he kicks his dog.
So what does he do? He becomes worse. And by that I mean becomes a vampire. And so Jonathan must stop him from killing a bunch of people by harnessing the power of the sun?
It's called Hamon. I call it Sunshine Karate because that's what it is. Hamon in part 1 doesn't really have a whole lot of defined rules. It just does whatever the plot needs it to. Like, Leaf, hang glider, do it. Part 1 is a lot more of a hero's journey than a lot of the others.
Yeah, it only gets more bizarre from here on out. Nikki, did you have a favorite episode?
I think my favorite episode is the finale. It's a real curveball. You gotta watch it to know
Favorite character? 100% Speedwagon.
It's Speedwagon. He's the best man.
It's Speedwagon. He's wonderful. Season 2, Battle Tendency. This happens with Jonathan's grandson, Joseph. He does not drink his Respect Women juice.
Joseph, I can't believe Joseph doesn't respect women. He's a lot more irrational.
Joseph must try to stop these stoned men who come to life, along with Caesar, who he's definitely not gay for, wink wink.
Definitely not.
Definitely not.
Part 1 was the journey of someone who's already a hero. This was Joseph learning to be a hero.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Did you have a favorite episode this season? Because I know I did.
My favorite is definitely Young Caesar.
Young Caesar.
It just has the strongest plot moments in general.
I also, though, really like when we first meet Caesar, he and Joseph do not get along and, in fact, have a battle, which is pretty bizarre.
It's freaking stupid.
It's so dumb, and I love it so much. Let's get on to the next season, Stardust Crusaders, which features one of our favorite battle boys, Jotaro Kujo, and includes some of my favorite characters, Polnareff and Kakyoin.
You remember that Hamon stuff? Forget about it. It's gone.
Remember Hamon? Not anymore. We cut it completely. Now we've got Stance, which is a physical manifestation of someone's like willpower, essentially. And you may think that we have a new villain, but it was me, Dio. That's right, Dio's back. They go on a cross-country adventure to stop Dio from killing people.
They go to a lot of different places and they get to see a lot of different cultures and stuff.
What's your favorite episode?
I like the Anubis fight. It's a very simple stand, but it's also very intimidating, and it's really cool.
One of my favorites has to be the Death 13 episodes. It says some interesting limitations on our heroes. Diamond is unbreakable. We meet our newest JoJo, Josuke Higasuka, who actually, surprisingly, drinks his Respect Women juice, which we all love.
We've gone 2 parts without it.
I think Diamond is Unbreakable is probably my favorite season. It's really different from the other ones. He's going to school, and like we get to meet classmates and stuff.
He like does random teenager stuff with some of the weird abilities he discovers. It's a lot more slice of life. My favorite episodes are the one that feature the main villain, Kira. Kira's not a good person, but I find him such an interesting character that he has all these weird quirks and qualities.
I really love the whole end, but I also like the episode entitled Let's Go Eat Some Italian Food. Because it's just Josuke and his friend trying a new Italian restaurant. And like, things get bizarre. It's so much fun.
Part 5, Golden Wind.
Part 5, Golden Wind,
We've
baby.
made it.
Here we meet Giorno Giovanna.
We get to see another whole squad.
Who's your favorite of the squad?
I think my favorite's Bucciarati. He's the group mom.
Mine is definitely Narancia. Just gives off a little gremlin energy, which, I mean, me too.
That's fair.
So, in Golden Wind, Giorno decides to join the mafioso, and then decides to take down the crime boss.
I use the Mafia to destroy the Mafia.
My favorite episode is probably the Requiem Quietly Plays Part 1 for specific reasons. I like the first part better than the second part. If you've seen the show, you understand.
My favorite is episode 20, the final mission from the boss. It's about at the midpoint of the series. It's a big turning point.
But it's a good season, nonetheless. So, Nikki, would you say you're a JoJo's fan?
I would say I'm a JoJo fan. I like JoJo because even though it has a lot of flaws, I think it's just unapologetically itself. It's big and bombastic all the time. It's so much fun to watch.
It's just such a fun show. It's full of buff people.
There are a lot of characters that, even if unintentional, are very queer-coded, and we latch onto that.
Oh yeah. This entire show is so queer-coded. So that's all that JoJo has currently. But Part 6 is getting animated, and a manga for Part 9 has already been confirmed. So I guess you could say this story is to be continued.
And that's tonight's show. Be sure to check back next Wednesday at 9 for our last episode of this season.
And be sure to check our social media for all things ASG.
This is All Systems Go, signing off.